David Norris. Going from gate 2 for Poole is Scott Nichols. Gate 3, the American Josh Larson for Eastbourne. On the outside in that yellow and black helmet colour, that is Lee Richardson. Lee, one of the promising youngsters, just 20, born some 15 miles away from here down at Hastings. Action just about to start. Remember, it's league action, 15 heats here in the British Elite League. Eastbourne Eagles throughout in the red and blue helmets, and the visitors from Poole along the coast in the white and yellow and black. Starting marshal there, Alan Rolfe, trying to get the riders up to tapes. Our referee tonight, Mick Postlethwaite. He comes from Oxford. Made a fairly short journey down here, but tackling the traffic on the M40 tonight. This is heat number 1. Riders a shade nervous. Every event we've televised so far has gone all the way to the last heat. I wonder if this will be the exception. We're just about to get underway with heat number 1. The starting marshal moves away. On the inside, David Norris picks it up to the apex of the men first. Oh, locking up and trouble already for Scott Nichols. And the under-21 champion is down. He picks up his machine. The referee won't stop this one with the Eastbourne riders in front. David Norris out front in red. Second place, the American Josh Larson. This should be a 5-1 to Eastbourne, just the start they wanted. In third place is Lee Richardson, half a lap behind. The rider in white is Scott Nichols, as David Norris, the race leader, comes up towards the completion of the very first heat. 2 laps to go, and certainly from David Norris's point of view, he's riding using the width of the track and using it well, PC.
Well, David Norris is Eastbourne born and bred, and he really knows his way around here. He's got fantastic riding style on this little track here, and that first turn was pretty tricky, and we saw the 2 Poole boys have a nasty turnaround. Certainly Scott Nichols went down on that first turn. We discussed that earlier on. It's quite tricky now. It's been altered, but good for Speedway.
Not tricky for these two, as they're going to take the checkered flag with Eastbourne 1 and 2. David Norris in first place, Josh Larson in second place. In yellow, Lee Richardson in third place. That's a 5-1 to Eastbourne, of course, which means that's exactly how they leave with 1 heat gone. Remember, they're 18 points down from the away leg, and if it goes on like this, well, they could be candidates for the bonus point. The heat won by that man in red, David Norris. His teammate and partner is Josh Larson there. A maximum heat victory for the home side. From the tapes, it was tight on the first bend, PC.
Yes, Tony, this is the start. You can see David Norris there in the red helmet. They go away from the start, heading towards that first turn. We can see this from the back this time. That's David Norris on the inside. That's the dirt hitting the camera there from his back wheel. He makes the start, rushes to the first corner, but just look there, the rider in white, Scott Nichols, he's going to try and go round the outside, but he gets far too much turn, spins right round us very, very well at one point. Think he's going to hang on to the bike and stay on, but in the end, he had to fall down. Down he went, got back on, but unfortunately, the opposition were too far ahead for him. But there's a win there for David Norris, and of course, his partner, Josh Larson, in second place.
That's the start that Eastbourne needed. Well done, David.
Yeah, we had a bit of a plan, me and Josh, but it was made a hell of a lot easier when Scotty fell off first turn, so it's just the start we need.
Sure. It looked like it was just a little bit slick on the inside. Do you think that caught Scott out there?
He hit my back wheel for sure, so whatever else happened, he hit my back wheel. I think that's pretty much what took him off.
As the conditions sort of as they normally are at the moment, it looks a little bit slick around the inside.
I would say they're perfect, but it's always, when you have a race win, it always seems to be, you know, to your advantage, so you say the track's great, but at the moment, hopefully, they're doing a good job.
Sure.
It's always tough against Poole, but how bad do you guys want it tonight?
So bad. I mean, local derby, as I've been on Sky all year, you know, but I had one over us early on in the season here at Eastbourne. So we've got to do well today and definitely want to beat them.
Well done again to you. You've got the start you needed. We'll let you get back and prepare your bike for the next one. Well done.
Right,
super ride.
The line-up for you, looking across the tapes. Danny Bird on the inside. Gate 2, Brent Werner for Eastbourne. Gate 3, Matt Furrion for Poole. And on the outside is Brent Collier. Starting marshal there, Alan Rolfe with the stripy jacket and the red sleeves. There he is. Alan Rolfe, been starting marshal down here for some years. Starting marshal will move away. Riders on edge a little bit as they look down towards the magnets. Up go the tapes and away on the inside now, picking it up well this time is Danny Bird, the youngster, the 19-year-old, but coming around the outside and picking up the grip is Matt Furrion, the Slovenian, with the Poole riders in the pole positions here now, but coming through in red on the inside there, Brent Werner for Eastbourne to pick it up, and he's going by the lot. What a brilliant ride by the American.
Yeah, it was. He lined him up down that bottom end, of course. Matt Furrion made a great start there, and of course, Danny Bird still in the thick of things there. I mean, he's only just started riding on the speedway, coming from motocross, as Kelvin Tatum has told us, but now Brent Werner's pulling away.
Brent Werner looking good out front. Matt Furrion in second place. Danny Bird picking it up in third and going to mount the challenge at the rear and looking to struggle a little bit. Brent Collier, but look at him now trying to come through. He's putting the pressure and getting the push there through on Danny Bird to give Eastbourne a heat advantage in this one now, as they have half a lap to go, and Eastbourne are going to get the majority of points in this one as the Eastbourne man Brent Collier has moved into third. But taking the checkered flag now in the red helmet colours with the wheelie is Brent Werner. In second place in yellow and black there is Matt Furrion, and in third place for Eastbourne, that's Brent Collier in blue. So that's a 4-point to 2 heat advantage for Eastbourne, and they now lead by 9 points to 3. And after 2 heats, it's looking impressive. And Peter Collins from the start, again, it was tough.
Well, just look at the rider in white there, Danny Bird. I mean, probably the first time he's ridden here, and what a great start he's made. You can see this again. His tapes go up. Away he goes for the first corner, and what a first turn from him. Now here we go, this is the rider in red, Brent Werner. He's rode a very, very tight line. He's probably gone 10 yards shorter than the rider in the yellow there, Matty Furrion, and what an overtake. He's 10 yards in front here on the second bend. We can see here now the rider in blue also, Brent Collier, the young Australian, also has gone by. But he can't catch Matty Furrion. But of course now Danny Bird's dropped back right to last place. But what a great first lap for him. And of course we can see as the rider comes round, Brent Werner on the last turn, he's got this race sewn up totally as he takes that checkered flag, and that's 3 points for him and Eastbourne.
There is Barker already on the inside and occupying that inside gate. Gary Havelock will be next to him going from gate 2. In gate 3, the Eastbourne captain in the red helmet colours, that's the 30-year-old Martin Dugar, the eldest rider of course in the Eastbourne team. And then the outside, Zorro Zetterstrom for Poole. He will be going from gate number 4. The 27-year-old from Eskilstuna in Sweden. Steve Barker in blue. The man in white is Gary Havelock. And we see Barker looking up from alongside the tapes. Starting marshal moves away. And away they go, and on the inside Barker is battling, and he gets the inside drop on Havelock, who goes down. Havelock is down. Will take time to recover from that, because I think he thinks he was pushed over. I wonder what our referee Mick Postlewhite thinks, because Havelock's staying down. The referee will have to stop that race because Havelock is on the track. We have the exclusion lights down in front of us. We'll have to wait and see whether the referee Mick Postlewhite puts those on. We'll have to wait and see. Barker, Havelock, Dugard and Zetterstrom are the 4 riders. Let's see which of those is excluded, and we'll have to wait and see. But the white light is on, and that means that Gary Havelock is excluded, PC. Was it correct?
Yeah, well, we see this. Gary's in the middle of that sandwich there. He loses his front wheel going into that turn. Basically, I think, looking at things, he just slid down on his own. No interference from any of the other riders. And I think, really, the referee was probably right to exclude Gary there. We can see this again. Gary goes into that turn. He's not really been hit. You can see his back wheel hits that real slippery patch coming into that corner, and he
probably then the architect of his own demise, and he is now with Susie Perry.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Well, Gary, you know, you've been excluded. How are you feeling right now?
I'm devastated, you know. I got the first corner. It was a tight first corner. He just took my front wheel from me, and I came off.
What are you going to do right now?
I want to try and top the referee, but it's a waste of time because referees don't listen. They never change decisions.
OK. It's going to just about... OK, you go in and do that. We'll see what the referee's got to say. We'll follow you in. OK, Jonathan, we're going to go back to you. What do you think?
Well, it's an interesting situation. Calvin, we were right here. It was right in front of us. What were your thoughts?
No. Sorry, Neil. He came down all by himself.
No way. First bend bunching. 9 times out of 10, you'd have rerun that race.
Hold it there, Calvin. I think I can hear the ref. Let's hear what he has to say.
If there was contact, I would have rerun it with all 4 riders. But there was no contact.
Come and look at Gary's bike.
I've seen the video as well, Neil. So I've made my decision, and that's final. Thank you.
So that's it, is it? End of story.
End of story, I'm afraid.
What first? I can't believe this. It's a joke. It's an absolute joke.
OK, you know, what are your thoughts on that? Excluded, you felt there that there was nowhere for him to go?
No, nowhere at all. Gary's front wheel was taken away from underneath him. He had nowhere to go, and in my book, it's first bend bunching. You've got to restart it with all 4 riders.
Gary?
I'm pretty sick, you know. It keeps happening to me. It happened to me last week against these. Same rider again, you know, ran into me and fell off. And I got excluded that time. This time he runs into me, I fall off, and I get excluded again. I don't know if I've done anything to these referees, but they don't seem to like me.
OK, well, what were you saying about your bike there? Can we actually see, you know, a problem with the bike?
Sure you can, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? We'll find out how that's going. Tony, what do you think about that incident?
Well, the way we saw it up here, I'm afraid to say, is very similar to that of the referee. It didn't blank space in gate number 2, previously occupied by Gary Havelock, and this means a little bit to Eastbourne, Peter, because they'll have a huge lead before Mark Laram gets out on the track.
Well, they've got 2-1 in this race, and of course you've got 2 Eastbourne specialists here with Martin Dugard and Dean Barker. Zetterstrom's really got his work cut out to do anything in this one.
I think we should tell the viewers, of course, that there is a bonus point at issue for the team that wins by the highest points margin over the 2 league meetings, home and away, and Poole won the one at Poole by 54 points to 36, an 18-point margin, and that is what Eastbourne are looking to redress. Look at the tremendous crowd we've got here in the sunshine. It's almost a barbecue time in the countryside here in Sussex. This is heat number 3, just 3 riders for the restart. That's Dean Barker looking down at the magnets. Starting marshal goes away, up go the tapes and away into the first bend goes Barker, shielded by Dugard. Good bit of team riding, but Zetterstrom tries to push it through. Dugard holds him off. Dugard looks back, and now the front 2, the Eastbourne pairing, are away. The deed is done, as they say, Peter.
Yeah, now these 2 have done this so many times around Eastbourne. They know each other very, very well. They've ridden here all their careers, basically, and, you know, they've got this race sorted. This is what team riding's basically all around, and they're pulling away, actually, from Zetterstrom.
Well, Zetterstrom has work to do at the back for Poole, and this is going to be another tremendous heat advantage to Eastbourne, because out front in the red helmet colours there is the Eastbourne captain, Martin Dugard. Dean Barker, his 29-year-old brother-in-law, moves through on the inside. They're totally in command with a lap to go here now. Barker and Dugard and Barker out front. Team riding of the highest order, but plenty of space in which to do it. And Magnus Zetterstrom for Poole is some 30 metres behind. And Eastbourne are going to get a maximum heat advantage here. Martin Dugard gets the tapes first ahead of Dean Barker. Magnus Zetterstrom is back in 3rd. It's a 5 points to 1 to Eastbourne, who now lead 14-4. They have a 10-point margin with 3 heats gone. And that man there, Martin Dugard, their captain, is leading his team in the finest possible style. And with just 3 at the start, from there, it was fairly easy for the Eastbourne men.
Yeah, here we go on the start. That's Dean Barker on the inside. Dean's got a very bad hand injury he received about 2 years ago, and he's still not got over it 100%. But there's Martin Dugard right with him as they enter the first turn. There's Zetterstrom on the outside. Of course, he's not on the same race when they leave the start. Martin Dugard is absolutely brilliant around this track, and you can see he knows it so well. And of course, here they come round the last turn. Martin Dugard's got everything covered. He looks back, looks across to his teammate Dean Barker. They look as though they're talking to each other as they're going round, and a great 5-1 there for Eastbourne. One of the best races that anyone has ever seen. Everyone is still talking about that A-final win there from Mark in Sweden last Friday night.
Well, there's the lineup on the inside. We're waiting for Matt Furyan at the moment, who is missing. He has problems over in the pits, and our referee is putting him on 2 minutes, I can tell you. And Matt Furyan will have to get himself ready and underway within that time scale. Already up at tapes. Mark Lemon is the Eastbourne rider in red, who'll be going from gate 3. Mark Lemon against his old club will be going in blue from the inside. And the seconds counting down on mechanical problems, Matt Furyan there. And Peter Collins, what do you see that to be? Because it's a fault just in front of his saddle somewhere on the frame.
I think his front seat bracket's broken, so they've actually taped it up, used the old duct tape there and taped it all up, and that's going to hold until he comes in after this race before he can put a new seat bracket on it.
Could be a shade uncomfortable if something goes wrong during the heat. There's Matty Furyan. He's on his way round to tapes now, the Slovenian rider, to take his place in the lineup for this heat number 4. And Poole certainly need the points. They'll need Matt Furyan and Mark Laram to be at their very best in this one if they're to close the 10-point gap at the moment, with Eastbourne leading, as you see, top left-hand calling his screen, by 14 points to 4. Jetting from in the Grand Prix. There is Mark Laram, we see at close range. Brent Collier on the inside for Eastbourne. Away they go. Mark Laram is going to battle to go around the outside. He's going to have to go here because it's picked up by his team Matt Furyan. But there goes Mark Laram in typical style, round the field from front to back to front. He's out front and leading in style. That's Mark Laram at his best.
Yeah, it's very, very important now that Matty Furyan can hold on to this second place. He's coming under great pressure here from Mark Lemon in the red. But of course, Mark Laram is looking very, very fast, and a great first turn from him because he didn't basically make that first turn.
Well, he obviously saw how he had to go around that tricky bend here at Arlington, but in the second position, it's vital for Matt Furrion, as PC says, to get the visitors' Poole into a 5-1 position and close that 10-point gap down to 6. But our leader, Mark Laram, gets the yellow flag with the black cross as he goes into the final lap ahead of his teammate and partner, Matt Furrion. This is going to be a 5-1 to the Poole Pirates, seeing their start, perhaps, of their battle back. The Eastbourne man, Mark Lemon, against his old club, is back in third and struggling. Second place in yellow there goes to Matt Furrion. Third place to Mark Lemon. Problems for Brent Collier at the back, but what a ride by that man there, Mark Laram, Swedish Grand Prix champion, British champion, and certainly a wild card in the next Grand Prix in Wroclaw. And things are really flying for Mark Laram. They certainly were here as he went from the outside gate at the start. He jetted from the gate, and a real flyer is Mark Laram tonight, and always these days.
Yeah, the outside start position at Eastbourne is not very easy to make a good start. We can see Mark is on the very, very outside. He's gone into that first turn. We can see this again. There is Mark on the outside. He lifts initially. He's not made the start. Like I said, he made a bad start. He's not first into that corner. But just look at that grip that he's getting. He's going all the way around the very, very outside. He's probably gone 20 yards further than the other riders. But of course, there's his teammate, Matt Furrion, made a perfect start to tuck in for that second place, and he held on to it. But of course, there's Mark looking every inch a Grand Prix winner, as we saw in Sweden last week. And what a win for him. What a first ride. And hopefully he's going to carry on in that mold tonight, Tony.
Tony and Peter, back to you.
Heat number 5, Lee Richardson on the inside for Poole. Martin Dugard for Eastbourne, gate 2. Scott Nichols, gate 3 for Poole. And Dean Barker of Eastbourne on the outside. This is heat number 5. Eastbourne leading 15-9, and Martin Dugard picks it up, looks around for his teammate Dean Barker. He's battling around the outside as he's taken wide by Scott Nichols. Coming through on the inside is Lee Richardson. The Poole pair battling in second place. Martin Dugard's going to have to battle alone out front for Eastbourne. No sign of his teammate Dean Barker at the back, but the Poole riders are battling in second place there with Lee Richardson heading Scott Nichols, and this should be a share of the points if it stays like this. Barker at the back has a lot to do. Dugard out front looking good.
Yeah, Martin's actually trying to slow the race down, or he certainly was early on in that first lap, because he's trying to get his mate there, Dean Barker, in the thick of things and getting him up behind him in a better position.
Well, Barker, though, has an awful lot to do with just over a lap to go, and I think now Dugard will take it on as his own and settle for a share of the points, because Dugard will perfect out front. Time to look back in yellow and black at Lee Richardson. In third place in white is Scott Nichols, and Barker is going to be at the back. This is going to be a share of the points as Dugard takes the checkered flag. The crowd, well, they cheer a local heat winner once again in that place there of Martin Dugard. A second heat victory, 3 points apiece the heat score. That's 18-12 to Eastbourne. And Martin Dugard acknowledges the crowd, and from the start, he made it all the way.
Yeah, Martin Dugard totally controlled that race. You can see there, he's made the start, and already before he gets to the first corner, he looks straight across for his teammate there, Dean Barker, but Dean's been pushed very, very wide on that first turn, right out of the race, basically, and he never recovered from that one. Martin's still looking back for him, but it is too late. But of course, the two Poole boys there, tucked in close together, of course, Lee Richardson and Scott Nichols, rode a great race there to hold on for those 3 points. And
congratulations again, but you seem to control that all the way from the start. You were turning around here on the last corner, see if you could get your teammate to catch out with you.
Yeah, that's the thing about Eastbourne. It's quite a trick track to sort of come from behind, and when you're in front you can really dominate it, so I was looking around to see if I could help him, but unfortunately I couldn't.
See, I've seen you do that too many times, Martin. But you seem to be turning very, very hard in this corner, almost too hard, because the bike seemed to sort of almost lift up from underneath you.
Yeah, I'm struggling really. I've overgeared it, and it's dying a bit in the middle of the turn, so what I'm trying to do is hopefully wash everybody else's speed off and get away from them.
Sure.
That's why I was checking around, make sure that everybody was like clear of me, so I was making sure no one was going to go around me.
Sure. You said that you'd had a new engine. Is that because with the gear ratio you feel that because you've got the new engine that you're still finding your way with it?
Well, what I do is I normally ride a different engine here. I normally ride a GL, and tonight I've got a GM in, and this is my first meeting here on it. So it's like everything really. I'm just feeling my way on it, and it feels quite good at the moment.
Yeah, fastest time of the night though, Martin.
Oh, I won't change anything now.
Okay. Martin, you're ahead. What about the overall position at the end of the evening? Can you do it?
Yeah, it's a long way. Obviously, Poole are a very good side, and we have been caught before, and we're not going to get caught tonight.
Well, that's fighting talk about where I heard it. Well done to you again. You can go up.
This heat 6. Josh Larson, the American for Eastbourne, on the inside. Mark Laram, our Grand Prix champion, goes from gate 2. David Norris, the local lad, goes from gate 3. And Danny Burr, the 19-year-old who comes from Sussex, rides for the Isle of Wight. He goes from the outside in yellow and black. There's the camera on the back of Mark Laram's machinery, and if all goes well, we'll see him in front, and that camera will be looking back at those in his wake. I just wonder, PC, if that will be the case.
Well, it was in the last one. He made a brilliant first turn, but of course this time he's in the middle. He's on the sort of inside gate 2 position, so we may get boxed in the first turn.
Well, we're surrounded by video screens, pencils, stopwatches and what have you. Fastest time so far, 56.3 for Heat 5 for Martin Dugard. Let's see if Mark Laram at his best can beat that round this 275-metre track here at Arlington, the oldest regular speedway circuits in the country. Remember you riding here, Pete, the meeting after you won your world title, I think, 14th tournament on a Sunday.
That's right, they said there was a few people here that day as well.
I was among them. Here we go. This is heat number 6. Up go the tapes and down on the inside, kept tight by Josh Larson, but Mark Laram picks it up. Will he head them away? Yes, he does. The others behind him now will go further and further back, because once Mark Laram gets in front these days, what did I speak too soon? Because coming through in blue, a truly brilliant ride by the American Josh Larson. Where he picked that up from, I don't know. David Norris coming through as well. Laram comes back, battling with the yank. The man from Anaheim looks up and falls down on the bend, and now Laram goes away. Josh Larson has taken a tumble. He will have to pick it up, but Mark Laram is literally miles in front, PC.
Yeah, he fell asleep a little bit there, Mark, when he let Josh Larson go by him. He really had to put everything together to get back on him, and of course Josh spun round, went down on the track, and you know, the referee could have stopped that race there and excluded somebody, but fortunately the race has carried on, and Mark is away now in that first position.
And this will be a heat advantage if it stays like this, as it does for Mark Laram to take the checkered flag. Ahead of in second place Dave Norris at Eastbourne, and now a long, long way behind in yellow comes Danny Bird to pick up a point, but only just. That means it's 4 points to 2 in favour of the visitors for that heat from Poole Pirates. It's now Eastbourne 20, Poole Pirates 16 at the end of 6 heats. A great win for that man, Mark Laram, although he had to try more than once to hit the front.
They've got a lot of speed at the end of the straight. Mark's pushed Josh a little bit wide. Josh has gone down onto the track. The American's down, and he realised the referee isn't going to stop that race, and that was full marks there for Josh to get up off the track and let the race carry on.
Well, I think we can go to Susie Perry for some late information.
Yeah, thanks a lot. I'm with a very unhappy Josh at the moment. I can tell by his body language. In your eyes, it just looked like you went in a bit too hard. You're having a bit of a battle there with Mark. How did you see it?
I mean, it's hard racing for sure. Mark just, he drove in pretty hard under me, and I had nowhere to go but lay it down or go through the fence, and I didn't want to do that, so the only option I had was to stop where I was.
That's a shame there, because you were going so well, weren't you?
Yeah, everything's going really good. I'm trying new bikes tonight, and they're going great, so I have to win the next one.
Do you think you might change the setup of your bike a little bit for the next round?
No, it felt really good in that one, so I think I'll leave it and try it one more time.
Okay, but not to battle with Mark this time?
No, I'm going to beat him next time.
Okay, well, I don't know about that. Mark, he said he's going to beat you next time. Jonathan?
Well, come with the moment, come with the man. Look at this guy. He's, well, he's doing it in the world. He's doing it here for Poole, but that's just the thing you needed right at this time, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, things are going, you know, it's good when you're on a roll and the bike's working, you feel good, and you're enjoying it. You're just taking each race it comes, you know, and that's all I'm doing. I'm enjoying it.
Sure, Poole are obviously going to rely on you heavily tonight. Obviously, you've got them back in the match there. That race there, you just seem to be caught napping a little bit. Josh just nipped back by you.
Yeah, that's it. There's not so much dirt out wide, you know, and I went in a little bit too fierce, you know, the first time, and Josh got the better line around the curve and the run up the straight. You know, I kept it on and done a nice cut back here.
Yeah.
Track's nice and wide now, you see, you just don't know where to go.
Sure.
It's sometimes harder to be in front.
Yeah.
Well, let's take a look at some of the action from that. Here you can see it. Tell us what's going on here.
I mean, basically, I've dived under, you know, Josh there pretty hard, but yeah, at the end of the day, I've turned. You can see how locked up the bike is, and Josh has just been unfortunate to get on the marbles out wide. It's a bit slick, and he's just spun it round. Having said that, if there had been some dirt there, you know, he could have quite easily run around me again.
Yeah, do you think normally that he would have been able to stay up if the track wasn't quite so dry?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, I think it was one of those things, if I'd have been on the outside of him, you know, this corner there's a little bit out wide, but down the bottom where the incident happened, it's actually quite slippery on the outside.
Okay.
Well done to you, Mark. We'll let you get back and prepare your bike.
Good job.
Well, it's Gary Havelock, the 1992 world champion, former Eastbourne rider, Bradford rider, started his career up at Middlesbrough. In red is Mark Lemon, the Australian for Eastbourne. Magnus or Zorro Zetterstrom goes from K3 for Poole. On the outside is Brent Werner, the guest from Workington, the American, riding for Eastbourne tonight, in place of the absent Russian Roman Pavazny. That man in blue there is Brent Werner, the American. 25-year-old from Los Angeles on the Brighton Indoor event in the winter. Different type of circuit that, although similar shape. Down there in yellow and black, that's Magnus Zetterstrom as we look down on the starting tapes. Second, 1 to 3rd as we move away now for heat number 7. Away goes the starting marshal, and picking it up well is Mark Lemon to the apex of the bend. Poole riders coming through there in white is Gary Havelock, and we said he'd do that. Havelock must have learned from that bend first time out, and now, well, Havy knows where he's going.
Yeah, you know, he weighed that first turn up brilliant there. He just turned perfectly and came straight underneath the Mark Lemon. Mark Lemon didn't expect that whatsoever, and perfect turn there from Gary Havelock. What a marvellous first corner.
And once he gets in front like this, the track craft, the skill and the experience of Gary Havelock will surely keep him in front, whatever the man in second place, Mark Lemon, tries. Brent Werner, the American for Eastbourne, is back in 3rd, and Magnus Zetterstrom at the back is certainly struggling in yellow and black. With a lap to go, this surely will be how it finishes, unless somebody suffers a mechanical failure. And if it ends like this, the points will be shared. The gap will remain 4 points, but there's still a battle going on at the back, and maybe, just maybe, Zetterstrom could get through. He's trying his darndest, but he's not going to do it. The heat winner out front, Gary Havelock. Second place, Mark Lenham. 3rd in blue is Brent Werner. The points are split, 3 points to Eastbourne, 3 points to Poole. It's 23-19 with 7 heats gone and 8 to go. And the heat winner there, the former world champion for the Poole Pirates, is Gary Havelock in white. And this time he had the track well and truly worked out from the first bend.
That was a great first turn from Havy. We can see this now. Mark Lemon there in the red helmet makes a great start. I mean, he looks as though he's got that first corner all to himself. When he gets there, he makes a very good first turn. But just look at Gary Havelock. He's already turned very, very sharp. His front wheel is right on that line, goes straight past Mark Lemon there. He left 6 foot on the inside, and Gary sailed straight through it.
Well, he sailed straight through it and straight through to our studio from the finishing line to join our 2 pundits, Jonathan Green and Kelvin Tatum.
Yeah, thanks, Tony. Normal service resumed there for Gary Havelock, but all from the start in that turn 1. Tell us about it.
Yeah, I've been struggling to start to really grip here, and I've been standing it up off the start, but the other guy missed the corner, and I managed to turn back up the inside on the new corner, and passed him and got away.
Do you think let's take a look at it here. Well, both of you, let's take a look at it here. Walk us through it, Gary.
Yeah, so I was lifting quite a bit off the inside there, and Mark just got the drop on me, but he tried to sort of come too tight, and he missed the.
Looks like he's just running a bit too fast, hasn't he? And you've been able to just bide your time and pull by him coming off the corner.
Got my wheels in line early.
Yeah. It was actually the second fastest time of the night, so you weren't too far off the pace there.
No, it's good. You know, last year I really struggled here, but you know, my bike's are going a lot better, and I've come here with a lot of confidence this time, whereas last year my confidence was down a bit.
Sure.
And you know, just disappointing that first race exclusion. You know, I don't know what these refs are up to, but
I actually have some sympathy for you there. I thought that you actually, you may have had your foot taken away by the dirt deflector.
Whatever happened to the rule called first bend bunching, Kelvin? You know what I mean?
He has that.
How many times do you see me fall off on my own?
Anyway, you made up for it there, and it certainly got things back on track. So, do you think that you've made a change, because obviously your form has really picked up in the latter part of this last year and again this season?
That was a big change with going to Poole. You know, so sometimes a total change, you know, can kick-start things, and I went there, had quite a successful end to the season.
Yeah.
And this year I've set up well with engines, just got another new one, and you know, my tuner Peter Johns is doing a brilliant job, and you know, the things are really buzzing, and it certainly helps, and your confidence is up, and your bike's fast.
Super duper, yeah, looking good. I think that you can see the confidence starting to come back, and some of that old form coming back.
Yeah. Gary, what's it like with this crowd here? I mean, they've great atmosphere, and you guys are rivals anyway, but good atmosphere, yeah?
It's a brilliant atmosphere. It's great for Speedway. It's great that Sky are involved, and everybody's buzzing. The whole of the sport's buzzing about it, and you know, everybody's here. It's a big crowd tonight. I don't think they'll be very happy seeing me score points, but you know, I ain't bothered about that.
No, that's,
they're all filling their charts in.
Line up now. Across the tapes for heat number 8, it's Matt Furrion from Poole on the inside. Brent Werner, the reserve replacement for Eastbourne, the American, goes from gate 2. Lee Richardson, second ride of the night in gate 3, and on the outside, the American Josh Larson for Eastbourne. That's the lineup. Packed crowd enjoying it here. Starting marshal Alan Rolfe, perhaps losing patience with the riders here this time, but that man Josh Larson staying cool, calm and collected at the tapes, and hoping that he would stay on his 2 wheels for 4 laps this time, PC.
That's right, and let's hope we can get that new engine going.
Jawa engine used by Josh Larson here tonight. Let's see what he does in this heat. This is heat number 8. Starting Marshall, as usual, moves away. Up go the tapes, a flyer. On the inside and holding it down well is Matt Furrier. He picks it up at the apex of the bend. Support comes around the outside from Lee Richardson. It's now Poole 1 and 2 as they pull it back, and it could be level after this heat if it stays like this, but pressure going on at the back from Josh Larson through into third place. Brent Werner struggling back in fourth. The Poole men, well, certainly the last two being held back there by Matt Furrier as Lee Richardson out front stretches his lead, and this is just what the Pirates wanted.
This is really going to put Poole back in there now. If they get a 5-1 first and second in this race, this is going to set Eastbourne right back, and of course Josh Larson's trying very, very hard, but what a ride here by young Lee Richardson, and there's Matty Furrier took it into that second place, but of course Brent Werner there bringing up the rear, and Josh Larson in third trying very, very hard to go past Matty Furrier.
With a lap to go, it's Lee Richardson out front and stretching that lead, and at the back, well, almost coming off is Josh Larson once again going into the fence and finishing up in last place. Second place here is going to be taken by Matt Furrier. Third in the blue helmet colours, that'll be Brent Werner, the reserve replacement. Disappointment for a second successive heat for Josh Larson, but Poole take the heat by 5 points to 1. They now level it up at Eastbourne 24, Poole 24. An extraordinary comeback, 10 points down after 3 heats, back level after 8.
Take off that rather flashy helmet he's wearing there. Lee, congratulations, a really great ride there.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. First time tonight I made a start, so got out in front and yeah, it's okay.
I was watching you before and you looked really focused, very determined. You know, what are you thinking about before you go out?
Well, I've missed the last 2 starts, so I was concentrating very hard on making the start. I based a lot of my riding on my start, so I was concentrating ever so much to get to the first corner. I've had a lot of problem with the front wheel lifting too much, so I've made a couple of changes and it worked.
Good bit of team riding as well, takes you level pegging now.
It does, it's all close again. We won here last time, I think last month, so it's all close again, and we've had some good results away from home, so keep going the way we're going.
There's just one question that I've got to ask you. It's about this sex thing, this sex ban. How do they know that you're not doing anything the night before?
Well, they don't. They're just going on mine and Scott's words because we're both on this sex ban, but no, honestly, we aren't doing anything. We're keeping our noses clean and just concentrating on the racing, of course.
Well, it looks like it's working, that's for sure. What do you think, Tony and Peter?
I think Dean Barker goes from gate 2. The youngster, Danny Bird, goes from gate 3, and Martin Dugard, the Eastbourne captain, is on the outside. Mark Laram looking there, looking down, looking wait. 2 big guns in this one, perhaps split. There is Martin Dugard, who goes from the outside. Mark Laram goes from the inside. How important to start here, PC?
Well, this is the crunch one, isn't it? Martin Dugard's the one to beat round here, of course, Mark. I wonder if he can beat him. And I wonder if we'll be looking back through Mark's camera at Martin Dugard. This will be interesting.
Well, Martin Dugard has to go from the outside, and that makes gating all the more vital for him here, because he's got to get away to get possession of that bend, surely. We wait and see. The starting marshal moves away, well away. Mark Laram lifts on the inside, coming round, and look at Dugard. He somehow stays on his machine, picks up the grip, but the battle is joined between the big guns, and there is Dugard now cutting across. A truly brilliant ride by the master of Arlington here. In second place, Mark Laram. Back in third is Dean Barker. Barker trying to battle through on the inside. Laram's come back, and a real battle between the big 2 here.
Yeah, Mark's not going to give up. He's trying everything. We know he likes the outside, but this kind of circuit, you've got to ride the inside as well, and Mark's having a big blast up the inside there, ahead of Martin Dugard, or trying to pass him anyway.
Well, he's falling backwards, and now the challenge mounted by Dean Barker to try and catch Mark Laram with a lap 2 and a quarter to go. Martin Dugard, Barker through into second place, and this will be a 5-1 to Eastbourne unless Laram can produce a miracle coming off that bend. Dugard has time to look back. Barker's in second place. Laram is mounting a challenge. Can he do it? Barker holds it well. This is a 5-1 to Eastbourne. Time to look back. What a brilliant ride by the Eastbourne pair. Dean Barker coming through into second place. Mark Laram is back in third, but the crowd, well, they have erupted here. Look at that enthusiasm for the 5-1 for Eastbourne, who now lead by 29 to 25, because Martin Dugard is going all the way around the track. And look really at that crowd. They have seen some speedway over the years, but that was pretty special by any account, and Martin Dugard knows what a brilliant ride that was. The Eastbourne captain, 3 rides, 3 wins, and Mark Laram pushed back into third place. Peter Collins, what a ride by Martin.
Yeah, Mark Laram on the inside. He made the perfect first turn. You can see there that Dean Barker stuck in between and Martin Dugard's right on the outside. Now Martin Dugard gets pushed very, very wide. That allows Mark to get that grip, get his wheels in line, go straight towards that lead. But of course, Martin Dugard, he used some dirt that was right up against that fence to gain that momentum, just to shoot straight past Mark Laram there. But of course, on the last turn, on the last lap, Barker came through on the inside of Mark Laram as well. Mark was riding just a little bit too wide there, and that allowed Dean Barker to dive through for that second place. And of course, there we go, that gives Eastbourne 5 points and just one.
Josh Larson goes from gate 2 in blue. Gary Havelock from Poole goes from gate 3, and David Norris on the outside for Eastbourne. And I think there was a mistake on those captions, but we'll have to have a look in a minute. Havelock, and on the outside in red is David Norris for Eastbourne. Away they go. On the inside, Furrion is going to pick it up, but coming across well is David Norris for Eastbourne. Norris goes round the outside, pursued by Furrion, but coming through on the inside with a vengeance is Josh Larson. Back at the rear is Gary Havelock, but leading away there, David Norris in red. Norris, Eastbourne 1 and 2, because his teammate and partner Josh Larson in second place. Remember Larson's efforts in the last 2 heats. But Poole are way back in this one, and this will open up an 8-point gap for Eastbourne, because looking back is David Norris. He has time on his side, pursued by his teammate Josh Larson. Gary Havelock third, Matty Furrion is at the back, and this is very much going the way of Eastbourne.
Yeah, Dave Norris is really flying. He's riding that fast racing line. He's not using the very tight inside line on the fifth turn. He's riding very wide, very fast. There's a bit of grip out there, and of course, Josh Larson tucked in behind him, looking like a 5-1 here for Eastbourne.
Certainly going to be a 5-1 here as David Norris takes it in red at the moment. His teammate and partner in blue is in second place. That's Josh Larson. Third in white is Gary Havelock. That's 5 points to 1 to Eastbourne. 34-26 Eastbourne lead. But what a ride by David Norris, and for the second successive heat, Eastbourne have taken it by 5-1 to open up an 8-point gap in favour of the home side.
Great team effort by both of you. Take us through it.
Well, David made a great start off the outside, and I didn't make such a good one, so I had to turn back and come back underneath him. And luckily, I got a good drive off the inside and went by him. And
well, let's take a look at the start quickly. Take us through this now.
We were just concentrating as much as you can on the start. I lifted a bit like that. I knew he had beat me, so I turned back straight away.
Do you think that the new corner enables you to do that? Because
yeah, definitely. It's really wide coming in and also exiting the corner, so you can turn back really hard and make a big long straightaway out of it.
Yeah. In the previous race, we saw you hit the kickboards here on this corner. Yeah. Have you made any changes since then?
Yeah, that was a mental error, I think. I was frustrated because I was behind, and I just tried to do a big one around the outside and ran out of room.
Yeah, it just looks like you got on a good rhythm in that race. And
yeah, it's just this season's been kind of up and down for me. I'm trying, first night I'm on Jawa motorcycles, so it's a bit of getting used to, but it's going good.
All right.
You mentioned that. What sort of things are the difference? Because many people don't know the difference. Tell us what you're having to deal with.
Well, with my GMs, I wasn't finding they had enough power for me. With these ones, there's a lot of power, and that's what I'm struggling with. I'm spinning a bit more than I had before, so I'm trying to compensate for the wheel spin, and hopefully with one more meeting or so, we'll have it sorted out.
It's tough to try and keep control of it, huh?
It's just, it's hard to keep the wheel from spinning, and when that happens, you kind of have no control of what happens.
Yeah, just the line-up, Mark Lemon on the inside. Lee Richardson from gate 2. Brent Collier replaces Brent Werner in this one from the scheduled rides, and on the outside is Scott Nichols. And Poole need a victory here, PC.
Yes, they do. They've got to do well in this one to get back in it. If they don't get in it here, they'll be really struggling. They've got to do it now.
This is heat 11. Eastbourne 34, Poole 26. Starting Marshall moves away again on the inside in red. Mark Lemon looks to pick it up, takes his man wide, but coming round, oh, how he stayed on there. Lee Richardson, superb balance, but still the pressure being put on by Mark Lemon. Richardson goes wide, Nichols out front in white, looks for his partner, and his partner Richardson has gone round the outside, and Poole have picked this up. The young guns are flying.
Yeah, Scott Nichols he's slowing this race down again. He's got the rider in yellow there on the outside. Lee Richardson getting all kinds of knots. He's trying to stop Mark Lemon, but Mark now has secured that second place now. Lee Richardson's back in third.
A brilliant ride by Lemon, but outside Scott Nichols. Mistake by Richardson allowed Lemon through into second place. Outclassed is Brent Collier at the back, but out front, the speed, the skills. Scott Nichols is a good rider, and he's showing it here in white. In second place is Mark Lemon in red. Can he hold holding ahead of the Poole Pirates rider Lee Richardson, who made a mistake on that in the second lap. But now, well, it is going to be 4 points to 2 to Poole. They do close the gap. The heat won by Scott Nichols ahead of Mark Lemon in second place. In third place in yellow, Lee Richardson. That's 4 points to 2 to the Poole Pirates. And now it's Eastbourne 36, Poole Pirates 30 with 4 heats to go. Scott Nichols, the heat winner there. And certainly for Scott Nichols, his first victory of the night, but an impressive and important one there for the British Under-21 champion.
Well, here's the start. You can see there Scott Nichols in the white. He makes a great start from the outside. He gets a nudge there with the rider in blue as they get to the first corner, but of course there in the yellow, Lee Richardson's gone straight round into the lead, but he goes too wide, and the rider in red, Mark Lemon, dives up the inside. But just watch now, the rider in white here, Scott Nichols holds back on the outside. You can see here now that again Nichols is on the back wheel, rushing to the top turn. Round the outside there is Scott Nichols. Mark Lemon's right in there, but of course right round the outside is Lee Richardson. Now you can see that Scott Nichols has held the rider in red, Mark Lemon on the inside, slowed him up and allowed Lee Richardson to come right around the outside, and it looked at that point that they were going to get a 5-1. But of course here down goes Brent Collier, totally spins right round on his backside, burnt a hole in his leathers, and back to the pits with no points.
Well, no points. He wasn't going to get any, even if he finished, because that man, Scott Nichols, out front was fast, impressive, and 3 race points behind his name. Eastbourne 36, Poole.
Say about that ride.
Well, it's pretty hard work. I had a bit of a problem with the bike. It ran about the second lap, so it was pretty hard work. But it was a tough one. Scott had a really good ride, so, you know, fair play.
It was good points, though.
For sure. I mean, obviously the race before that we got the 5-1. It was crucial, but I just got to play my bit and score a few more.
I mean, it's pretty tight, isn't it? So when we're talking about team riding and so on, and splitting up, you know, maximum points, it's very, very important, isn't it?
Definitely. It's quite difficult too. You know, some guys make it look pretty easy, as Martin Dugard did in the earlier race. But it's definitely hard out there, and everyone's going for it, that's for sure.
Dugard on the inside. Mark Loram goes from gate 2. Brent Werner, the reserve replacement for Eastbourne in gate 3. And Gary Havelock, the 1992 world champion and the Poole captain, goes from the outside. That's the lineup. 30-year-old Gary Havelock, the oldest rider in the Poole side. The American. In yellow in the background there, we see Mark Loram. On the inside, it's Martin Dugard. Quite a race in prospect. Up go the tapes from our referee Mick Postlewhite. On the inside goes Martin Dugard. Battles to the apex. Havelock goes down. He's into the fence at the back. He looks to be knocked out. Our referee will surely have to stop this one. He will, as the staff come out, and I wonder what our decision will be this time with Gary Havelock. He didn't like it last time, and we'll have to wait and see whether the exclusion light goes on for Gary Havelock. But this is the chance of a comeback. His teammates coming out to attend to him. Already out there, there's Scott Nichols with the number 1 on his back, helping Gary Havelock. But Havey's on his feet, and he awaits the referee's decision. We'll have to see what happens here. No exclusion light going on at the moment as Gary Havelock moves, and we can look at it again from the start with Peter Collins.
Yeah, here's the tapes. We can see there that Gary Havelock is right on the outside. Now what happens is all riders get to the turn at the same time, and Gary is quite wide there. Again, he gets a little bit of grip. Mark Loram seems to be in Gary's way. Gary gets a lot of speed in the wrong direction, but it's all 4 riders back in, and I think again Gary was fortunate to stay in.
Well, he may be fortunate, but he's with Susie Perry and probably a happier man this time.
I don't know if it's much happier, but at least you haven't been excluded. You are back in. But how did you see that?
Well, I mean, to be perfectly honest, I thought I should have been excluded from that one more than the first one, you know. I was just trying too hard, going on the outside and picked up a lot of grip and had to get off. You know, it's just that sort of meeting. We want to win it so badly. Everybody's just trying real hard.
OK, well, you're back in, so, you know, you've got to concentrate and focus on your next heat.
Yeah, I'll give it heaps.
Give it 100%.
Yeah, full on.
Liverpool, gate 3 in blue. That is Brent Werner. On the outside is Gary Havelock. Up go the tapes. Dugard keeps it down. Loram battles all the way. Loram goes wide. Dugard almost locks up. Loram picks up the speed, but Dugard stretches the lead. Havelock is left at the back. And if it stays like this, Eastbourne will extend their lead. But now from the point camera, we can see the view from Mark Loram with the men behind him. But he is in second place behind the man in front of him. Oh, Dugard locks up. Dugard Dugard stops dead. Laram stretches his lead, and now they will pick it up because Martin Dugard suffers the disappointment. Mark Laram is out front, and this is now set for a 5-1 to the visitors with 2 laps to go. Laram has time to look back at his teammate and partner Havelock. Havelock has come through ahead of Brent Werner in last place, and now this is going to stretch into a 5-1, and that's the sight the Poole fans wanted to see from the camera, looking backwards from Mark Laram's machinery to see the other remaining 2 widers in this heat in his wake, because he's going to take this in yellow and black ahead of his partner Gary Havelock in white, and Brent Werner third in blue. That's a 5-1 to the Poole Pirates. It's 37 to Eastbourne, 35 to Poole, and just the reverse of what Eastbourne wanted, but glory for Poole, and the Eastbourne promotion won't be happy with Gary Havelock staying in that, and the problems for Martin Dugard. It stood the heat on its head.
Well, here we go on the start. There's Martin Dugard on the inside. Mark Laram's next to him. As they get to the corner, Mark Laram gets a big knock there from Martin Dugard's back wheel. Mark goes very wide. He does very well to recover, but of course, he's been pushed into that grip on the outside. Really, Martin's done him a favour. Now, Mark's really having a go now. Now, you can see the pit turn again. The next lap, Dugard locks the bike up here far too much. The back wheel digs in, and I'm sure the chain was thrown off the back of the bike. The chain has been ripped off the bike by that flexing of the frame because he was totally sideways, and when the bike gripped, the chain was off.
Well, the chain certainly came off there, and Mark Laram from then on certainly marched on with him.
We don't see that very often from you. What actually happened?
Well, I come in the corner and the bad chain come off, which is ironic really, because just before you said that, you said, you're on full points, which I was until then. But you can see I've come in, I've put the bike under a lot of stress where I've parked it, and the chain just comes straight off. So lucky really, Mark didn't hit me. So
yeah, you just sat straight up there, so it was the chain, was it?
Yeah, it was just consolation. Mark was where he was, and just pleased he didn't run into me.
1 point in 3 rides so far tonight. Mark Laram, who's flying with 3 heat victories to his name, goes from gate 3, and on the outside is Mark Lemon. From 12 heats so far, each team has had 6 heat winners, so it could hardly be better up front for the checkered flags, but this is going to be another. Good on number 1, David Norris there, the 2 number 1s battling. Gate 3, that is Mark Laram, and on the outside in blue for Eastbourne, Mark Lemon. That's the lineup, away they go. It's line abreast into the first bang. Laram going wide, Nichols taking his man wide. Oh, somehow David Norris kept on his machine there under the challenge from Mark Laram. Laram goes under him, takes Norris virtually into the fence. The front 2 pick it up for Poole, but Norris's challenge is not over. This time he goes on the inside to take out Mark Laram, and there's a battle in second place, but Scott Nichols out front is all on his own. A real battle in second place. His speedway at its best, PC.
Mark Laram's getting alongside Dave Norris here. He's trying so hard with diving round the pits turn there. Mark's going to cut back up the inside. That sharp turn there, but of course out in front is Scott Nichols riding a brilliant race, but of course Dave Norris is right in the thick of things as well here.
If it stays like this, it will level it up going into heat number 14. But at the moment, Scott Nichols in front in white. Mark Laram bucking and rearing behind in second place there in red, David Norris. Norris is going to hold it, surely. Norris has time to look back. Norris finished second. Mark Laram finishes in third place. The heat winner, Scott Nichols. That's a telling one for the Poole Pirates, who take the heat by 4 points to 2 with 13 heats gone. It's Eastbourne 39, Poole Pirates 39. And Scott Nichols there, his second successive heat victory, has put the Poole Pirates in with a chance of an away victory. And what a ride it was by the British under-21 champion Scott Nichols, and from the start it was competitive all the way.
Oh, this was a really tricky first corner. Now we can see Mark Laram there on gate 3 in the yellow. He didn't quite make the start, but look at David Norris in the red helmet. He's pulled right across the front of Scott Nichols. Now Scott Nichols has pushed Dave Norris very wide. Mark Laram hits that dirt that I was talking about earlier on, gets so much grip, takes off, gets the wheels in line again, and as he goes down the back straight there, he's just about to dive under David Norris here, entering the bottom turn. But David Norris just about holds onto the bike there, did ever so well to recover.
But Scott Nichols way out front, and from the checkered flag, he did a lap of glory and then moved to our studio. You see him with Jonathan and Kelvin.
An important time to get those 3 points, but congratulations. A tough race, you were pushed all the way.
Yeah, definitely. You know, the pressure's really on us to, get a result in that one. I had gate 1 and I didn't make a brilliant start, but I knew if I could run him into the turn, I'd have a chance. And luckily enough, I managed to run him in and get out. Just I tried to have a look to where Mark was, but you know, I didn't really feel confident.
Well, let's take a look at that start again, and maybe you can talk us through it. Here we are. There's a shot of Laurent, but you can see yourself here.
Yeah, I've not really made a brilliant. I'm sort of there, and David's come across me. I've just sort of moved him over. Obviously, you can see Mark's got in a bit of trouble at the back there, and I had a look either way and thought, I can't really help him, so I'm just going to get on my own race. And Mark's a good rider; he can.
He can look after himself.
He certainly can.
Actually, it was a tremendous race for second and third, but earlier in the night you fell off in the first corner. Was that you just caught out by the conditions, or?
It's a bit of both. Me and Dave were close, and I mean, you know what it's like. If you miss it, cut back, and as I went to cut back, I just hit his back wheel, and it just took me from it. And then conditions, and so not the best start really.
It's interesting what you said about Mark. You know, you looked around each side to see how much you could help him. How much of the team tactics are involved, and what decisions do you make, and when do you decide, right, that's it, I'm going for it, I can't help him?
You know, we've got a real good team spirit. Me and Lee had a breakdown in communication, but it's really important. I had a look, and you know, when I went down the straight, if I could see Mark was on the inside of me, I could have held the outside, or vice versa. You know, because but just you got to try and work together and just really look. And
well, talking tactics, what will your teammates be thinking now with coming up for this one?
Well, obviously it's still really close. You know, we're down. They're just going to be trying to rally everyone around together. It's it's a really important meet, and it's close, so the pressure's going to be on. Just hope they can perform, get up to it. And
looks like in this next heat you really just got to hang in there. If a 3-all would be superb, and then obviously you know, bring the big guns, just maybe yourself and Mark out for the last heat again.
Yeah, it'll certainly be a crunch last heat or whatever, I think. Yeah, just hope they can do it. It'd be nice if they could take some of the pressure off.
We can't wait.
No, we certainly can't. We'll let you enjoy the atmosphere back.
Gate 2 is Zorro Zetterstrom, the Swede for Poole. He goes in white. Dean Barker from Eastbourne goes in gate 3, and on the outside it's Matt Fayan, the Slovenian, who rides for Poole and did so well. He's racing in the Continental semi-final of the World Championship in Ljubljana on his Heat 14. Remember, Heat 15 still to come. Nominated riders will be 6 laps. This remains 4. This is Heat 14 as the starting marshal moves away. Up go the tapes. Rearing at the line is Zetterstrom. Coming through on the inside. Eastbourne men pick it up. Barker in red, but the pressure on the outside from Matt Fayan. A tremendous ride from the Slovenian. Barker should take him wide here, and will. Fayan has to check, but he goes through on the inside and out front. Barker now picks it up. Can the challenge be mounted by Werner to close it up? But it will all rest on the final heat once again if it stays like this.
I'm very impressed with Matt Fayan tonight. He's riding so well. I mean, he struggled a bit last year, but this year he's a revelation, and he's holding that second place, and he'll take it right to the last heat if he can maintain this second place here. He's under a lot of pressure from Brent Werner.
But look, coming through there is Brent Werner to give Eastbourne a 5-1, and they're going to the last heat, looking set for at least a draw. We'll have to wait and see, but Fayan comes back again to go by Werner. Werner comes through on the inside. What action in second place. Fayan picks it up again. Looking back is Barker in red, but what a race we have in second place. Barker leading the way for Eastbourne, but the checkered flag comes out, and it's 4-2 to Eastbourne because Barker finishes in front of Fayan in yellow. In third place in blue is Brent Werner, 4 points to 2. Eastbourne take the heat. 43-41 it is, with 1 heat. Mark Laurent goes from the inside in yellow. Martin Dugard, gate 2, the Eastbourne captain. Scott Nichols, the British under-21 champion, Poole's number 1, goes from gate 3. And David Norris from the outside. 4 top riders, a big crowd, and a great finale here in this Elite League match. Eastbourne lead 43-41. Remember, this is 6 laps. If we lose count, well, who knows with everything else that's happening here. 6 laps, and this is Mark Laurent. It's a test of stamina as well. Laurent on the inside picks it up. The battle with Dugard. Dugard wins the first battle to the bend there. His teammate Norris is at the back. Round the outside goes Scott Nichols. Dugard comes back again for Eastbourne. Oh, they look up. Dugard is down. And that was so unfortunate for Eastbourne as he remounts. He's got an awful lot to do, but his teammate in second place could at least earn a draw if Norris can stay there, having won through against Nichols. But out front now is Mark Laurent in yellow and black, and what a race this is going to be. A pity for Dugard, but it could finish level.
If Scott Nichols can pass David Norris here, then Poole can win this meeting. But of course, that snarl up there on that first lap, they were all covering for each other, and of course Martin Dugard came worse off on that one. But Scott Nichols is trying everything, and of course Mark Laurent there in third place is trying to go by Scott Nichols.
Well, certainly, oh, what a battle out front there, because out front is Mark Naram in the yellow and black helmet colours now. In second place, Scott Nichols is through, and this will give the meeting to Poole. And back in third place now for Eastbourne, that is David Norris, but this will give victory because this would end 5-1 with just over a lap to go now. It's Poole who are in command. Mark Naram in front, Scott Nichols in second place, back in third there is David Norris, and if it stays like this, Poole get victory by the very last count on the very last lap of 6. In the yellow helmet colours, that is Mark Naram, the man of the moment. Scott Nichols in second place in white, third for Eastbourne in blue is David Norris. That is 5-1 to Poole. That is Eastbourne 44, Poole 46. It could have hardly been closer. An away victory in the very last heat. The bonus point goes as well to the Poole Pirates because they won at home by 18 points. But that victory by 5-1 in favour of the visitors. Mark Naram and Scott Nichols earning the points. There's the wheelie from Nichols, the wheelie from Naram, and really a purple patch for Mark Naram has had a lot to do with this.
Yeah, Poole have saved the best till the last. We can see now when they get to the first corner there's Scott Nichols in the white helmet, but of course now we've got Martin Dugard there. Martin gets right on the inside of Scott Nichols. He was trying to cover for Martin Dugard, goes down there on the outside in that dirt, totally wrong. He was trying to cover two riders. We can see that again. Here now is Mark Loram. Scott Nichols is trying to go on the inside of David Norris, but of course Mark Loram's leading this race. Scott's doing all the work there. Now he's the one now that's going to take that match away from Eastbourne. It would have been a draw, but now as Scott Nichols has gone by, Nichols takes that second place to join Mark Loram. There's Mark on the last turn. He's going to get that win. Of course, he looks back and he sees that Scott Nichols is right with him. He's got his thumb up, and what a win there. Poole have snatched it in the very last race.
Poole are happy to a man. There is Philip Lanning and Gary Havelock. That's the Poole party enjoying themselves in the pitch.
The Poole here, the Poole Pirates, brilliant stuff. And the hero of the day, Scott Nichols.
I know what to say. I thought, I was going to come off there in the bottom there, and Martin, he comes under you like a B-52, and I thought, and I had to park it on him, and and just went from there, really.
That's one of those things that could have gone either way, and that was the slice of luck that you had just at the right time.
Yeah, I'm just fortunate enough to have a bit of luck when David made a mistake here and nipped up the inside. It got a bit close, but.
Looked like you really got going as the meeting got on, and if anything, the pressure at the end there seemed to sort of inspire you to bigger and better things.
Yeah, I'd had a disappointing start, and like any ride, they always set themselves targets, and I was determined, and the pressure's on the last one, and I suppose I want to make up for me bad start, really. So.
Well, you've upset some people and you've delighted some others, but...
I'm glad I've made the ones happy that are important.
Yeah. Well, there's a superb atmosphere. You can hear the horns behind me. The aliens come in here. The aliens have landed. The whole team's here congratulating him. It's a really great atmosphere here. Is it always like this down at Poole?
Yeah, it's great, Got a real good team spirit in the team, but like the fans and the promotion are brilliant, and I've made a good move going down there this year, and great race and a great team, it's the most important thing, and we all seem to bond well, and good communication between the management as well, and fans are great.
All right, I'll let you go and celebrate with the rest of your team. Well done again, Scott. Kelvin, what a night! It's happened again.
Absolutely, another fantastic last